Vences. You heard earlier of his bounce back, that emotional locker room chat from his father, and now here he is, 23 wins, just the one loss, the one draw going up against Luis Lopez. Here's Mark Chinook.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back inside the MGM Grand here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. This is boxing presented by Bob Arum's Top Rank. This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the junior lightweight division. Our judges at ringside, Tim Cheatham, Eric Cheek, and Max DeLuca. The man in charge at the sound of the bell, Mr. Kenny Bayless. Fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 128.2 pounds, wearing black trunks with gold trim. He brings a record of 20 wins, 2 losses, 11 wins by way of knockout. From Mexicali, Mexico, Luis Alberto Venado Lopez.
Oh, brother.
Fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 129.5 pounds. Wearing teal trunks with silver trim, he brings a record of 23 wins, 1 defeat, 1 draw, 12 wins by way of knockout. From San Jose, California, Andy El Tiburon Vences.
Okay, fellas, trunks are good on both sides. We went over the rules in the dressing room again. I want to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck, touch them up. Okay, that's good enough.
Remember, you can go to ESPN.HearMeCheer.com to hear your voice and root along during this co-feature fight. A co-feature fight with Andy Vences at such a unique stage of his life. You know, he suffers last year the first loss against the slick Albert Bell. Now, guys, we had an incredible visit with Andy last night. And Tim, he pointed to you and he said, Tim, I have nothing against you, but your criticism helped me. And he went on to talk about how he's trying to think with positivity now, not really dwell on criticism or what was negative, going so far as saying that he was reading success books about having a positive attitude, that he fixed the relationships with his excellent manager, Peter Kahn, and everybody around him, of not putting blame elsewhere, but looking at himself.
You know, when you suffer your first loss test, you know, you start pointing the finger at everybody. You know, you start looking at the coach, the strength and conditioning trainer, you start looking at your manager, you even blame the promoters. They set me up, they set me up. But ultimately, you know, the fighter has to look at himself, because he's the one in there fighting. So once he realized that, you know, I just have to say that he's matured now, and, you know, it should help him. You know, a lot of these guys, they sit here and they say, oh, Tim, you criticize me, you criticize me. I criticize you to help you. I don't criticize you to bring you down. And I'm glad I was able to help you.
For Lopez, he's coming off his career best win. It was in December, and it was a 5th-round TKO of Christian Baez, who was an undefeated fighter from Venezuela. Now, most of Lopez's fights have taken, he's from Mexicali, Mexico. Most of his fights are back home. It's 20 fights in Mexico. This is his 3rd in the States.
Lopez is coming out very, very aggressive in his first round, as expected. As you can see, very short to the ground, stocky, sturdy frame. And Andy Vences has more of a longer frame. It's really been a good round from both men. Vences hasn't really given up much ground, but has stayed smart. And Lopez does what Lopez does, which is come forward and let his hands go and tries to press the issue.
You mentioned, Dre, that frame of Lopez. He's 5'4" and checked in on the scale at just over 128 pounds. So he gives up 4.5 inches in height to Vences.
Yeah, but he has a very unique way of getting his punches in, though. You know, a shorter fighter knows how to fight a taller fighter. They adapt. But you see how he's reaching with those punches? He's leaving his chin straight up in the air. Lopez is. And if I was Vences, I would set him up for a left hook. I would drop low and come up and set him up with a big left hook over the top.
Time!
Let's show you what happened earlier to 13-0. He was knocked down the 4th round, but gets up and goes on to get a unanimous decision against Alejandro Salinas. This is round 2 of our co-feature with Vences and Lopez, and then it is Jose Zepeda in the main event and gets Kendo Castaneda.
Tim, you had the right assessment of Luis Lopez about his chin being up in the air, but I want to save you from losing any more hair on your head. Lopez is not changing tonight. That's who he is. He's comfortable with it. He's comfortable in his own skin, and it's up to Andy Vences to do something about it.
Ray, if you can find
Don't
any
stress
hair
about
on
it, Jimmy.
Tim's head.
Hey, look at Lopez doing the little shoulder roll. Check him out. Check how he roll the shoulder, the right hand of Vences, and then he comes back with his own right. But he leave his chin straight up in the air. If I was Vences, I would set him up. Right hand, left hook. Throw it, Vince. It's there.
The thing I respect about Lopez is he doesn't have perfect technique, but he knows who he is. He's not trying to be anything other than Luis Lopez.
And for Lopez, the right hand keep finding a home on Vince's face. Vince is shooting the jab and he's bringing it back low, and the right hand is sneaking right over the top of it at times. You see in that exchange right there, you guys don't see what I see, but what I'm going to tell you, that was a jab. A jab come right back from Vences, and then jab right back. You call that a counter and counter. Counter and a counter. That's what Lopez did right there. He's being first, and he's also being last.
That's the best weapon right there for Andy Vences is the jab. I'm giving him a similar game plan as I gave Andres Cortez. Early in the fight, just box. You have a sturdy fighter who doesn't mind taking a punch to give a punch, wear him down a little bit, and then those big shots will start to land as the fight goes on.
And moments ago, Dre, that was a well-targeted jab right off the hip.
I've had a lot of time to think about
Vences and Lopez, and you can't help Tim. You look at Lopez and you see the dimensions, 5'4" and just a 66-inch reach, and it creates certain limitations and a certain style.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the awkward way of you trying to land your punches, being a shorter man. I've been short my whole entire life. I'm not getting any taller. So I understand what Lopez is going for. Yes, he's reaching. Yes, he is. But this is his way, unique way of landing his punches and being awkwardly clever, ladies and gentlemen.
Little jabs through 2 rounds. Lopez has outlanded Vences 36-30 in total connects to this point.
Love the variation of punches from Lopez, going low and then high over the top to catch Vences with the right hand.
The jab is looking good from Vences. If you're in his corner, you want to ask for that jab more often, because then you can turn shots like that. The check hook, the right hand, all of his clean, big shots that are landing are coming off the jab.
But check hook was something, wasn't it?
Finally getting that hook in there. It's available for him all night long. You just got to time it perfectly.
So Vences doesn't want to exchange with a guy like Lopez. He's still strong. He's throwing big shots. And again, he doesn't mind getting hit to get his shot through.
Nice right hand. Got a little good defense, trying to be elusive. But those are spots that Vences can take advantage of if he let his hands go. Great right hand over the top from Vences right there. Over the top of that jab of Lopez.
Yeah, keep it there. Keep it there. I like the stick on the chest. I like the stick on the chest. Push him back with it. Push him back with the stick on the chest, Andy.
Can hear Angel Gordon, the trainer of Vences, saying, I like that stick right on the chest. He likes that work when the jab is effective. Goes right back to it.
Just know he's going to try to pull that hook.
Yeah, why not? It's working, right?
Nothing. Back on the stick.
Vences finally found his range and his timing now. Now he's picking Lopez. Picking him up.
Back on that stick. Push him back with the stick in his chest. Yes. Up it. Yes. Beautiful.
Evan, did you know Geico is
15-13 connect advantage in that third round, and Dre, that check hook got our attention.
Well, a few of those shots came from that jab. We've been talking about the jab all night long, but it stops an aggressive fighter in his tracks and it allows you to land this shot right here. Makes him think about it. He he's thinking, boom. Vences makes him think and take that left hook, and that's what he has to do. He's been very, very disciplined, and he's been very on point with that left hand tonight. He's got to keep it up.
Vences coming off a career-long 255-day layoff. Bernardo, what are you sensing from the corner of Andy Vences?
Angel Gordon says, look, we're going to take over right now. I think he's slowing down, but we just can't get hit with that one wild shot. If he keeps the stick on his chest, he's going to do better, because I believe that he's slipping the jab that he throws to the head. So that's the plan from Angel Gordon. In terms of the nose of Andy Vences, he complained a little bit. He said, look, he got hit, but it's no big deal. He's breathing okay.
Beautiful jabs from Vences, upstairs, downstairs, to the pit of the stomach. Very, very discouraging, and it hurts to be hit in the pit of your stomach with a long-range jab.
Give me something else, though, Vince. You landing the jab. Give me something else, baby. Follow it up with a power shot. You have to follow up your jabs with a power shot, especially if you land it as effectively as Andy Vences is on Lopez.
Stop.
That right there was a changeup from Andy Vences right there. Instead of leading with the jab, he led with the right hand. He was just a little bit off the mark, but look for more of that later.
You're starting to see some of the punishment soak in on Luis Lopez. That's why you don't see him as aggressive, because Andy Vences has turned this into an 80-20 fight. He's getting his shots off, and he's landing his shots 80% of the time, and he's barely giving Luis Lopez anything to hit. So he's not only getting beat up little by little, but he's also discouraged.
Yeah, to add to that, Dre, Vences is fighting a disciplined fight. That's why he's having success. He's making Lopez make mistakes. He's keeping control on the outside. He's standing on his stick, and he's letting the young boy come in, and he's catching him with counters.
Good shot right there from Vences.
There in that last round, like the range, speed, and Tim, to your point, and Dre, to your point, working off the jab. He said, just give me those 1-2-1s. And Dre, let's take a look at your scorecard as we start round number 5 here. 3 rounds to 1 for Andy Vences.
Snapping and everything off of that. Push the shoulder and come with the left hook. Stop. Andy, when you got the hand down, right hand to the shoulder.
Look, you see Vences, he take the jab. He's taking the jab to the shoulder of Lopez. Don't look like much, and he's also hit him in the heart with the jab as well. You know, don't look like much, but those shots hurt. And over time, the accumulation effect, you know, those hands will get heavy. Can't pick those hands up.
There you go. Back on that stick.
Even though Vences is boxing good right now, he's got to stay alert. And he's got to be aware at all times because Lopez is still throwing big shots out of nowhere like we just saw a few moments ago.
An awkward angle a few moments ago. Lopez himself, a shorter man working behind his jab. I think comes in with a lead hook.
It's actually a strategy that some guys use. Once they realize they can't box with the fighter, punch for punch, they'll lay back. They know they're losing rounds. They'll try to lull the fighter to sleep. Hey, you're hitting me, you're winning rounds, and then they'll try to explode with a big shot.
See if there was any blood after this clash of heads here.
Oh, Lopez got the worst end of it. Oh, the little nick on the forehead of Vences. Shorter fighter trying to get close, and you see Vences put his arms out and reach out as Lopez coming forward and kind of brought him into his head.
Yeah, it's the right eye of Luis Lopez. So an accidental clash of heads opens up a cut on the right eye.
Accidental headbutt. Okay, time in.
Stay on the stick, Andy. Stay on the stick and got work off that. ¡Ánimo, ánimo! ¡Cúbrese, cúbrese! ¡A trabajar! Te va a querer tirar a la pura cortadita, inteligente. ¡Cúbrese allí! ¡Cúbrese allí! Allá. La derechita. ¡Cúbrese, cúbrese! Up it, up it, up it. Walk off the turn, Andy.
Joe, I'm always interested to see how a fighter's blood, their own blood, makes them react because fighters react differently when they see their own blood. Some fighters go into self-preservation mode. Other fighters want to attack, and it looks like Luis Lopez is attacking right now.
He is. Another awkward angle where he landed that right hand here in the final minute of round 5.
1-1-2, hook right. Climb off that chin. Climb off that, tuck the chin. Eso, de vuelta. Contragolpea de eso. Tiene que ser doble.
Step back, step back. Stop at the bell.
Rápido. Eso, de vuelta, Oster. No se agacha, usa la jab. Eso. Don't lean in, Andy.
I don't think Lopez is happy about getting cut in that previous round.
Short right hand chopping down
right
from
now.
Lopez.
He's hurt bad right now.
Yes, he is.
Vences better tie up. Vences better tie up.
Okay, hard on.
So
You're right, Tim.
Lopez
Vences
with
is
a
really
big
hurt right now.
opportunity here.
Oh,
Right lead comes in.
upset alert.
This could be danger zone right now for Vences. Upset seeking Luis Lopez. He just beat a previously undefeated fighter, his career best win, and now he's got Vences in trouble.
There you go, work it, get inside, get inside.
Can Vences get through this here halfway through round 6? Wild swinging Luis Lopez. Vences trying to steady himself, but he eats another right hand.
Yeah, Bayless has to keep a close eye on Vences. He's on his feet, but he's taking a lot of punishment right now.
He's out on his feet right now, Dre, and he's fighting back just like a fighter's supposed to. But what he
Taking some
needs
big
to do
shots,
is he
though,
needs
Tim.
to
He's taking some
survive.
big shots.
I know, he needs to survive. He needs to tie up, buy himself some time to clear his head and legs.
He has
Move.
been
Tie this
eating
man up.
headshots here, Tim. Takes another one. Kenny Bayless is right on top of this. Could we have an upset here? Andy trying to work his way out of it. Now, final minute of round 6, he got damaged early on. It was a right uppercut that started the damage. Two-punch combination from Lopez. Vences trying to dig deep, comes back, and presses the gas pedal with offense himself.
Stop.
Vences is showing a lot of heart right now. But that may not be a good thing for him right now.
His father
This
gave
is
that
good check right
encouraging
now.
speech after his first career loss a year ago. He said, we're going to fix the problems. They've got a...
Now, maybe Luis Lopez might have punched himself out.
In that sixth round,
man, listen to me.
Lopez threw 65 power punches, landed 28, a dominating sixth round.
Listen to me, fellas. Your fighter just fought probably one of the rounds every year, honestly. He took some big punches. You don't go in there and you don't grab him, bring him back to the corner, revive him, throw some water on his face, smack him around a little bit, wake him up, get him alert. That's what you're supposed to do when your fighter is in trouble like that.
Vences coming out determined here in round 7, shooting off through a few combinations against Lopez. Comes forward.
Let's go. Push him back.
58-56 on Dre's card. Dre, that sixth round, I know there wasn't a knockdown scored, but were you considering a 10-8 there?
I thought about it.
I think it could be justified.
Could have easily been a 10-8 round.
No doubt about it.
He dominated from the opening fail.
Could have easily been a 10-8 round.
Stop.
I don't get paid to judge, Timmy. I get paid to broadcast.
Hey, Dre, hey, it's all good, baby. I'm just giving you a hard time, Dre. You know.
There was a clash of heads, and now you can see the blood streaming down from the left eye.
Wow.
Time over. Time in.
Here's the clash moments ago that opened up that cut on Andy Vences. That was ruled an
accidental headbutt, but you
headbutt.
see Lopez coming in and attacking. He got overly aggressive, came in with his head.
Let him up.
That head clash.
Sit back.
Guarantee you that Andy Vences is not all the way back in his head yet. He's still trying to recover from what happened in that previous round, but he's doing the right thing. He's got the right body language, and he's keeping Lopez off of him with his offense. If you're Lopez, you need a breather this round, but you've got to take a deep breath and try to test Vences again, just like you did right there, and try to see if you can land another big shot.
Overhand right
that's
came
easy.
in.
Vences is giving him that overhand right.
There you go. Back on it. Back on it.
All right, stop. Sit back.
That's how you work, champ.
Tess, you was talking about that overhand right that Lopez just landed. Yeah, that's easy for him. Look at the angle that Vences is laying on. He's laying on his right foot. He's available for the overhand right with his left hand down.
Stop. Sit back. There we go.
Go. Just like that. Working, Andy. Don't let him work.
It's got to be a little discouraging if you're Luis Lopez to dish out that kind of punishment the way that he did to Vences in the previous round, and then Vences comes back like he did this round.
Very, very good bounce back round for Andy Vences. End of 7. Good co-feature here. Everything he told us he's targeting. It is crunch time, isn't it?
Hey, listen, Andy Vences' problem is the same as everyone else, is dealing with adversity, whether it's Albert Bell, or Eric De Leon, or Lopez right in front of him. He was out on his feet for most of the 6th round. He got cut in the 7th, but the way he came back to win that round, in my book, shows you how much this kid has grown mentally, spiritually, and physically. Whatever else happens tonight.
I think the problem for Vences right now is that Luis Lopez took that last round off to catch his breath. I want to see if Lopez can step it up like he did in the 6th round, because I don't think if he can, Vences can take that kind of punishment again.
What you say, Dre? Check that temperature.
Gotta check it.
Both men have been cut from accidental clashes. Both men have extended themselves. One man was on the verge of possibly putting this thing away. That was in the 6th round when Vences was hurt. But he came back nicely in that 7th round. So down the stretch we come here, round 8.
There you go. Well, on it. Don't let him set up.
Every time Vences let his combinations go on Lopez, he freezes him. He freezes Lopez. But anytime he sits back and wants to throw a single shot, Lopez jumps in like that with shots.
There you go. Back on the stick.
Vences must throw his combinations if he wants to keep Lopez off of him.
Está el voladito. No le quita la vista. Ahí está, no le quita la vista. Ahí así, mira, ahí así. Ahí está apretado. Está bien abierto. A todo lo que le queda tirar. Puede la jack. No Mexicali, papá, ahí está.
I know it's difficult for a fighter when they've taken the kind of punishment that Vences did a few rounds ago to go back to the original game plan that was working initially, but that's what Vences has to do right now. Settle yourself. You came back and had a good bounce back round. Get back to the jab and get back to landing those big right hands and left hook and continue to allow yourself to recover.
I disagree a little bit. I like him pressing. I want him to press, and I need him to let his hands go. Because every time he shoots the jab out there, he's getting countered with the overhand right. He's throwing the jab at the same speed every single time, and that's the reason why Lopez is catching him.
We threw a jab right there, and he countered with a right hand that landed flush. So I kind of like that right there.
It was beautiful. It was clean. Get busy.
Vences doesn't need to be in an exchange right now. He's not all the way back. He's fighting out off instinct, but he's not all the way back.
He's on fumes right now.
2 rounds to go. Very well regarded. A lot of happenings at 135 pounds, but boy, it just doesn't get any bigger than Lomachenko and Lopez, does it? We look forward to having that. Hopefully there'll be an official announcement soon enough, and we will know an exact date. We've heard the reports of September 19th. Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Lopez?
Armando Valenzuela said, look, he needs to start throwing that right hand. If he feints with the left, Vences is open for that big right hand.
Remember, it was a right uppercut that got the damage done, and it really didn't stop in the 6th round when he made the 28 power punches.
Beautiful work, beautiful work. Yep. Jabbing around. No problem for the when you're done. Yep, and then straighten it out.
There's a right hand that drives down from Lopez.
Back on the stick. Yep. 1, 1, 2.
You see, every time Vences attacks, what does Lopez do? He wants to get out. Freezes him up. He don't like it.
Nice, back on that jab. Yep. And then again. And then again. And then again. Good round, Andy. Good round. Keep working. Let's go, champ. Keep working. Keep working. Keep working.
Great work right there by Andy Vences. Just letting his hands go. Got Lopez's hands in his pocket. Great adjustment.
Right hand finished well in that combination as Lopez tried to turn with it. 7-year veteran is Vences at 23-1-1. Lopez got a late start to the sport. He was a soccer player back home in Mexico, and then at 21 years old, the guy was getting into street fights. His family said, listen, you just go into the boxing gym. And he did. That was only 5 years ago. He's 20 wins deep into his pro career.
This 9th round has been beautiful stuff from both fighters on the offensive and defensive side.
They will have 1 round to go. Course to deliver on everything he still wants to in his career, and that would be trying to get a title shot at 130 pounds. Lopez had a golden opportunity in the 6th round. Let's see how he finishes here.
Got the ring. Come in smart.
Push him
back, Andy. You got to push him back.
Lopez looking for the right hand. Keep an eye on it.
That counter right hand right there that he just missed, that was an upper. But he's also been throwing one over the top.
Yes.
Luis Lopez has a nice counter right hand that he's been landing and missing throughout the course of the night.
Sit low and come over. Sit low and come over. Yeah.
Nice combination right there.
Push him back. Push him back, Andy. 2-1-2. Push him back.
Keep hearing that push him back, Andy.
Just missed off the mark right there.
Keep working, though.
Andy Vences did the right thing without throwing the jab at mid-range.